It's my great honor to be here to present for our Group 14. We divided our point into 6 parts. They are case information extraction, comparison between cases, some ongoing challenges and responses, link with HRM, benefits of workforce dialogue, and the solution to develop a strategy. I will illustrate the former 3-1, and the remaining parts will be presented by the other group member, Lin Li. First, let's move on to the case information extraction. Our group have studied 3 companies, the Ogilvy Group from case 1, Cafe Spice Namaste from case 2, and Fujitsu Services from case 3. We listed some internal challenges these 3 companies faced and the strategy as well as the structure and system the 3 companies have adopted. We also listed some changes in training and development that case 2 and case 3. All the 3 companies have got several outcomes through encouraging workforce dialogue over training and skills. Next, we made comparison between the 3 different companies. Case 1 and case 2 has the outcome of improving employee motivation, but case 3 doesn't. In terms of employee retention rate, both case 2 and 3 have a low staff turnover, but for different reasons. Case 3 emphasizes more on employees' professional knowledge and skills, while case 2 emphasizes more on employees' basic skills. The low turnover rate of case 3 is because their employability is lower than that in case 2, and they have a less chance to get a new job. Assemoglu and Patrick have founded a strong relationship between training and employee turnover. In the USA, where employee mobility is high and training is only provided for general skills, so Cafe Spice Namaste should have had a high turnover rate. But the reason is that the employee has a good relationship with the employer, and the employee is loyal, and this can be seen from the salary event from the context. Moreover, 3 companies have different training objectives. In case 2, more training is provided for improving employee themselves, while in case 3 and 1, the training is mainly provided to develop the professional skills required by the enterprise. The last difference is the method of learning at work. There are some similarities as well. All these companies focus on cultivating talents from within, and the challenges they faced are mainly internal. Besides, they all have relative conflict work dialogue. The enterprise in case 1 and 2 all have clear formal and informal communication methods, while the one in case 3 has no obvious informal communication methods. However, according to the case, the company is undergoing a transformation, so is also making efforts to promote informal communication. Then, what ongoing challenges do the organizations face, and how are they preparing for this? Because it's difficult for Ogilvy Group to quantify the financial returns on training investment, so it's encourage external training. By doing so, employees acquire skills that are easily transferred to other organizations from external general training. Lanacos found that employees can obtain higher bargaining chips through such training, thus increasing the mobility of employees in the labor market. In response, Ogilvy Group should analyze employees' training needs and actualize training interaction. By doing so, they can understand the employees' views on training and communicate with training instructions and trainers to avoid useless learning for employees. And giving employees a greater development space and a better platform for improvement is essential. Cafe Spice Namaste currently employs 34 people, only 3 of whom are women, so there is a certain male and female racial imbalance, which will bring some potential challenges to the company. For enterprise, human resource practice will affect women's hiring, training, pay, and promotion, and will also have some negative effects on corporate image and internal employee relations. For employees, the large gender gap may lead to unfair results. And the European Institute for Gender Equality mentioned that when the number of employees of one gender is very small in a certain work field, employees of this gender may have some psychological problems. In response, companies should improve the diversity of recruitment and optimize human resource management, create a good culture, address the performance evaluation system, and improve the employee promotion system, as well as provide psychology counseling services. Fujitsu Services is short of informal communication. According to The Guardian, Fujitsu said they are in transformation program. During the years of transition, they are now slowly encouraging their employees to make their own training requirements through the daily work. The lack of motivation is not only the problem mentioned in the case, but is also one of the challenges that Fujitsu is committed to solve at present and in the future. Fujitsu also mentioned informal communication. Yang said it's an alternative outlet for isolated, uninformed, dependent, and hence muted employees. In response, Fujitsu Services should enhance informal communication with staff and increase anonymous communication methods. It's my part, and let's welcome Lin Li.
Let's turn to question 4. We have a flow diagram to illustrate how the levels are related. Firstly, we figure out the challenges and confirm the firm's strategy so that we can design our firm's culture and system. Secondly, we develop a particular framework to meet the challenges and demands. For example, in case 3 shows an organization called UKCF, especially collects the information from the employees and provides advice for decision making. Finally, the organization can be a part of HRM training and development. So the next question is, what are the benefits in encouraging workforce dialogue over training and skills? Actually, we divided it into 2 parts. The first one is workforce dialogue. For employees, it helps the staff know how HR better and increase their participation in on training. Like in case 2 mentioned, high levels of support and positive feeling in respected training and skills development. And what's more, it gives the employee a right to present their opinions, and the policy gives them the stage to select a particular training plan. That shows a kind of flexibility and harmonization. For employers, it helps them know how to make training plans based on what employees really need. It also develops industry relations, which case 2 mentioned employees are like a family in the company, so they have a high degree of loyalty and trust in employers. Even though some cash flow problems appear, they're still willing to believe that company can handle. And another one is training and skills. For employees, a signal to employees that the company values them. The second one in the training is basically satisfying, which can improve staff motivation and job satisfaction. The third one is bargaining power, which often results in higher financial returns. And actually, for employers, the 3 cases all focus on the developing employers, especially for the particular company, in order to improve the loyalty. The second one is the reputation. Actually, case 2 earns the reputation in its own industry and is well known as a good employer. Next question is how to develop a strategy. Developing training content and strategies according to the size and the nature of the company. The training strategy should be adapted to a real situation. So when we formulate a training strategy, we consider the current situation. At first, organization trainers need to choose an effective training model, which is most suitable for the organization structure. Training strategies that are out of business reality and difficult to be effective for a long time. So with corporate strategy planning and human resource development strategy, we can produce a sustainable training system. Second one is the enterprise scale. Large-scale companies dominate the market through scale, determine the development and direction of the whole market, so they can also follow the training direction of relevant markets. In addition, the scale of a company directly determines the scale of training. Larger companies can conduct internal training within the department, which is beneficial for the assessment of training effects, while smaller companies may rely on more external training. As for large enterprises, Case 1 and Case 3 pay more attention to the training of professional skills and keep up with the trend of the industry development. Case 2 is a family business with a small scale, which emphasizes general skills and provides other skills for employees, besides professional skills as a benefit. The third one is the nature of company determines the company's adaptive training strategy. There are plenty of strategy changes in the market environment, so different company properties will quickly improve training programs when the relevant market changes. Case 1 adopts more internal training, so because the nature of the company determines that the company adapts to the old employees bring new employees model. And Case 2 in the service industry requires improvement in employees of literacy, so they tend to improve their general skills. Employers will select appropriate career management mechanisms, and the whole process will be announced so that there is no misunderstanding. These professional management procedures will depend on the size and culture of the company. So they include training programs and strategies, especially in larger companies that can implement rapid management development programs. The second one is balance between company needs and personal wishes. Improve employee motivation according to the Kirkpatrick model. Training needs to be evaluated at the end of the training. The company's willingness to meet individual training design will promote the enthusiasm of the employees to participate in training, which can help job performance. More importantly, it's guarantee for employees' personal career development, spiritual, cultural, and interests. And the second one is achieve a sustainable training program. The last level of the Kirkpatrick model result. This word means requires an assessment of the post-training impact on the organization, which is combined with return on investment. Training requires investment, and it's impossible to do this without considering return. Companies which invest heavily in training and education expect the outcomes related with training to be measurable. Training needs are directly related to job performance and also based on the company's development plan. The company growth needs to be supported by the talent so that improves business benefits and help the company achieve a long-term advantage. Well, it's the end of our presentation. So there is some references for you. The second, yeah. So thank you for listening.